Friday morning, beautiful day today. Going to be a beautiful night for some high school football, maybe even for some bingo. Bingo? Who's talking bingo? Aaron Lehman is, as he joins us this morning. Our visit presented by Marcus and Mack, voted the best law firm and the best personal injury lawyer 4 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Bingo with a twist, huh?
Yeah, that's right. You don't have the iPad here to be live.
It's there.
Oh, it's there. Oh, hey, hi. Okay, sorry, I didn't see the little camera there. All right. Yeah, technology. So hey, so thanks for having me on again. I haven't been on for a while. With Family Promise, and one of the things that I think about is imagine sleeping in a car with your kids. Okay. What would you do? Would you have the windows in the summer, windows open, worry about your kids might get kidnapped, whether all your belongings might get stolen, that type of thing? Or would you have the windows up and you were in the air conditioning, so then you use gas in the car? Would you be able to work without having a shower, without having a good night's sleep? Would your kids be able to get to school or go to school because without a shower, good night's sleep, or anything else like that? And would you have a mailbox, so when you get your Section 8 housing, you'll be able to actually give it back in the 10 days that you have? So there's a lot of different things that people that are experiencing homelessness and poverty go through. Now, me, imagine a 3-story brownstone house in Hershey on 10 acres. That's where I grew up. My dad was a doctor. My mom was a nurse. I was not going to experience poverty or homelessness as far as I knew. One of the things that my parents would say is, if anybody's rich around here, we are, you're not. And that made me understand about budgeting, made me understand about, how wants and needs and that type of thing, because I have my own wants and needs. So one of the reasons why I got into Family Promise, and I've been doing this for like 13 years, is the fact that a lot of people haven't had that education and haven't had the opportunity to understand about wants and needs. And everybody's heard me say this, but again, this $600 stimulus came out. Walmart was selling 5 TVs for $5.99 and below. So people would get that. It's a want. A need is to have electricity to power it in 3 months. So, we do that. One of the things that we're doing now is we're teaming up with ICAP. So we're going to bring our financial literacy to ICAP and have their case managers actually start talking to people about, wants and needs, and making sure that people understand budgeting. Because, I have clients of mine that, make a lot of money and don't understand budgets. So, it's something that people need to understand, and especially if you've never had that experience.
Yeah, laying a foundation.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So that foundation has to, before you build the building, you need to put it on a solid foundation.
Exactly, you need stability.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we offer at Family Promise.
Yeah.
Families get the stability. And then you can start thinking about the next steps. I mean, how can you think about being, parenting skills, or how can you think about, getting a car or a house if you're, living in a car, or you're living in a tent in the woods, or living with, you can't think about the next steps because there's so much right now that you're thinking about. So we need to make sure that programs are around so we can have people have the stability, bring dignity back to their lives by, being successful.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's interesting is people that graduate from the program, people that, I've talked to before, it's like their food stamps go down and their taxes go up, and they are upset about that. But that's actually a positive thing, because that just means you're doing better. You're bringing in more money.
Yeah.
You're being more successful. So just because your food stamps go up and go down and your taxes go up does not mean that you're being, that's a bad thing. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we try to teach people there also.
Yeah. So Family Promise does a lot in those respects, in building that foundation and then helping people then to build the house on top of the foundation, almost literally.
Yes.
But in order to do what you do, you need to raise funds your own selves. And so you have an event planned. Is it tonight?
So it's tonight. We're going to be having a dinner. It's provided by Luigi's the Climber. Thank you, Lou. We'll be hosting a music bingo event. And if you're unfamiliar with music bingo, it's like bingo, but with song titles instead of numbers. Guests will watch and listen to TV videos, and songs will be up there. And you won't have to guess the songs. It'll be there, and you put it on the card. And then
Just look at your card and see if you have that song.
And we'll also have a basket raffle and a 50-50 and walk-around tickets. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And real quick, you want to thank some businesses: Sunrise Human Services, Speckled Eggshell Stained Glass, J. Livingston Auto Services, Business and Professional Women's Group, Indiana, Fraternal Order of the Eagles, where we're having it, and it's at 5:45. So the Eagles have been phenomenal with us. Luigi's, of course, and the people that have made this event possible: Mike Miller, Kendra Silvis, Jess Kramer, Linda Ireland, Prudence Kunkel, Jeff Mack, Jillian Jones, and Laura McGotti. So, and I know I said your name wrong, so apologize, Laura. Yeah, so that's kind of that's in a nutshell, you know.
Doors
So
will open 5:45.
doors open 5:45. Bingo starts at 6:45, 7 o'clock. We'll have food before, and then you come in and I don't know a whole lot about bingo. So the thing that's amazing to me, I have to say this: the thing that's amazing to me about bingo, I went to is on Fire Hall. They had bingo, and I had one sheet. And I might have won, but I didn't know because there's so many, like it gets so fast.
It's the same as me.
And you're like trying to, and then you're like, wait, I missed that, and I missed that, and I missed that, and then it's like corners. Okay, so maybe I had the corners. I don't know.
And the guy next to you is working a dozen or more places.
Yeah, how do they do that? I'm like, oh my god. I don't know if it's my ADD or what, but like, there's no way that I'm just amazed at people that can do that. It's insane.
I can't. I have no idea how to play bingo, but thankfully many people do, and you invite them to come and see you at the Eagles tonight for Family
Of course,
Promise.
yeah, and yeah. Just because again, there's so many nonprofits in Indiana County that are doing such good work, and they're making Indiana County better because a lot of times with nonprofits like Family Promise, we can do a lot with a little bit of money because we understand how to how we can use the money in the best way. Sometimes our elected officials, I wouldn't expect them to know how to use the money in the right way because they aren't, in with the organizations as much as we are. So when you give to organizations like Family Promise, like the Open Door, like ICAP, like I was at the ARC yesterday for their wonderful organization. We're doing stuff with a little bit of money, but we're making the county better. So that's why we're always asking for donations, asking for volunteers, asking for board members, and just trying to help everybody in the area.
Well, that's the thing. It's the recognition that there are people who have great needs in the area, and by helping them, and especially with the way Family Promise goes about helping them, you're not only just giving them things that will help them to get along and to get through whatever crisis they're in, but you're actually setting them up for future success.
Exactly. Yeah, we are. And two ways that we do that. First thing is the financial aspect of it. So we teach people about wants and needs, about budgeting. And the other part is the church, faith congregations, so the churches in the Indiana, they actually help out with providing role models. So there are people that go to the church, become role models. And a lot of our I was just talking to one of our graduates the other day. I did an interview. So if you go to Family Promise Facebook page, it's on there. But Jancy, the first thing she said is she owns a house. So she went from homeless and now she has a house. So, but the thing about it is the fact that her story is amazing because of how she began experiencing homelessness until So one of the things that we need to do is make sure that we're supporting people and making sure that people have the opportunities that they need.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So doors open 5:45.
5:45, yes.
At the Eagles in Indiana.
At the Eagles of Indiana.
Get yourself a little bite to eat and play some musical bingo.
Play some musical bingo, and I'll be going around and doing other stuff. So I don't know, the whole bingo thing again. It's not my cup of tea.
You're going to try to look busy so that you don't have to try to sit down and play bingo.
Exactly. Yes. That's right. Yeah. Because I don't want to look like, oh, hey, I won, and I really didn't know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Family Promise is a great organization, and one of the great things about it is that it started as a church-based movement here in Indiana County. Churches offering their own church facilities for folks who just give them a temporary place to stay. But it's expanded to much more than that.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the things with churches. I know, it's like you're trying to support people in the area, and the good thing about it also. So one of the things that I've always thought about is rural Indiana County and how we can get our services out to rural Indiana County. And one of the ways we could do that is to have churches in rural Indiana County, host our families, which means that you have the family stay in the church, or support our families by providing food and having fellowship. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I'll say this in a second. But anyway, that would really help because then we can get, Family Promise, and we can get some resources out to rural Indiana County. But the thing I want to tell you about Jancy is she said she is Catholic, and she became Catholic because of the Catholic Church was one of our support congregations. So here's somebody that, because of the church became, found their religion. So, I mean, we're doing a lot of great things in that way.
Yeah, she found a church home through
She did.
her advocacy and her use of Family Promise.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so there you go, boys and girls. There's your invitation. The Eagles tonight, 5:45. Doors will open. First bingo at what time?
It's like 6:45 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah. So hopefully we can see a lot of people there and have fun and support us and help families experiencing homelessness. And the last thing I want to say is this, and this is something that I've talked about on your show, on Anthony's show, on online and everything like that. We need to start looking at, and this doesn't mean just people experiencing homelessness or poverty. This all across the board. We need to start looking at people as people. We just, if you don't agree with somebody, if you don't like something that or whatever, they're somebody's daughter, wife, husband, grandparent. We need to start looking at people as people, and then we are going to start looking at trying to help people because we know that they're a person, as opposed just whatever. So I think that that's one of the key things I like to talk to people about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
He's Aaron Lehman. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate that.
Of course.
It is the
Thank you for
voice
having me.
of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. We are 2 minutes away from the top of the hour, exactly, as a matter of fact. Fox News coming your way in just a moment or so. And then Josh Widdison from our WCCS News Group. We talked to the folks from PA Career Link in our next half hour. Also, Lynette Yarnick from Yarnick's Farm Market. And we're going to talk about running. Are you a runner? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but we'll learn about it in our next hour.